I'd first of all like to welcome all of you today to our final event of 2017, our pop-up Christmas kitchen. I'm loving the decorations, and the feel of Christmas being in the room is really special. One of the things that I wanted to mention to you, why we run events like this and why do we run cooking classes for patients. For me, there's so much more beyond surgery that is significant in terms of what we can contribute to patient journeys and to give you tools and the ability to change all sorts of aspects of your lifestyle. And food obviously is such a big part of it. We really want food to still be a pivotal part of life and get you to learn a lot more about not just nutrition, how to eat, what to eat, when to eat, but that when it comes to things like Christmas time, that food is still a big part of life. And that family functions, socialising, and all of the things that you used to just take on a slightly new meaning, a different perspective, and that food can still be delicious, nutritious, and something really special that you're sharing with your family and friends. So today, obviously, the theme is all about Christmas and giving you that opportunity. Who in the room has ever had this fear of, oh my God, I'm going to put on another 10 kilos, we're getting close to Christmas again? Anyone ever felt like that? And I think that's a really, such a big thing that you've moved on from there when you're taking on board this surgical pathway, and no longer do you have to fear Christmas, but let's look at how do you enjoy it more and make it more special for all of you. So I'm really excited about today's event, and I'm so excited to see all of you here today. It's a tough job to get a lot of people to come together and be a part of any of our events, but we hope that you'll take on board that what we want to contribute is something special for all of you. So I would love to introduce you. Some of you, has anyone met Leslie Stronach before? Anyone here at our last pop-up kitchen? A couple of people, yes? We're really excited to be able to introduce you to a chef of Leslie's calibre. Once upon a time, just a few years ago, and I think it was in around about 1989, Leslie was Australian Chef of the Year. So he's a chef with many years of incredible experience and a journey that's just been fascinating. A lot of his years of professional career have taken him to Thailand specifically, and a lot of time also in Dubai. I'm sure he'll share some of his stories along the way. He has a slightly strange accent, and I'm sure you'll all love it and be able to understand him. But he's created, with Brianna and Maddie, some beautiful recipes to share with you today. And I think I might hand over to Leslie to make a start. Please make him welcome. Woo.
So today I was asked to do something a little bit different, because who likes sushi? Everybody likes sushi? Right. Today we're actually going to make it with quinoa, because quinoa, is, as you know, is very good for you. And in there's, oh, could I have the smoked salmon out, please, my team? Fridge open. So we're going to make it today with carrot, cucumber, red capsicum, smoked salmon, and it's all in there ready for you to try. Thank you very much.
So the reason that I chose
This is my wife.
an example of a quinoa sushi is because sushi tends to be one of those things that are very much used with a lot of our patients. So some people can do it, other people just struggle a lot with it. So I thought if you had a bit of an alternative, it would be a bit easier to digest, and people can enjoy it a lot more.
Okay, cool. You've got the recipe, and of course, being a chef, I always play around with recipes, right? But when I played around with this recipe last week, I noticed when it says put in slices of avocado, I actually mash the avocado with the quinoa, so it doesn't go everywhere when you're doing it, right? So the quinoa, you cook it, 1 cup of this, 2 cups of water, 12 minutes. Then you leave the lid on, keep it to the side. You don't want to wash this off because you need it to be a little bit gluggy because it's for the sushi, all right? So you let it cool down by itself. Make sure it's really cooled down. So we'll do a bit of quinoa. As I said, I just put the avocado in there and mush it up. I find it's a lot better. But you don't put it in this one of these things. In there I've also as well, I put some sushi seasoning, all right? Put in as much as you want, what you like. I like it quite sharp, so I put a little bit more. With that, and because you're using the soy afterwards, I don't put any seasoning in here at all. Just like the natural from the soy will feel. That's nicely mushed together. It just actually helps a little bit, right? Who makes sushi at home by themselves? Yeah? Okay. This is your next play around with. You got the machine, have you? Okay. Brilliant. Easier now.
And how do people go with sushi generally? Has anyone tried it with sushi, quinoa instead of rice before?
Of course, you're just going to get a little tasting in a minute coming out.
What other things do you think you could put in there other than salmon? Tuna, tin tuna, egg. Yep. Lots of different protein options.
You know, like normally people use water, right? To seal it up with the rice vinegar. Gives an extra little bit flavour to it, you know, as well.
Brianna, what made you think of sushi today? What was the thing that made you think people would like sushi?
Because some people really struggle with it, some people don't. So it was an option that's easier to digest because it doesn't have that gluggy rice in it. So you get white, you can get black, you can get red, or the tri-coloured one. I think maybe it's the tri-coloured today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are we allowed to taste it?
Yeah. Now here's a taste test, all right? So there you go. So how many of you make your own gravy at home, by the way? Yeah? Could. Who's ever deboned a spatchcock or a chicken before? Anybody? That's a long time. No. Would you like me to debone one to show you? Because then if the people who haven't made gravy before, I'll show you how to make a quick gravy using the bones and the vegetables and everything. Yeah? Cool? All right. So we'll go to the we'll do that first because the gravy has to cook a little bit. I have the one for later there, right? It's my little spatchcock, okay? Now, this excuse me. The recipe that I gave you is with spatchcock, but it can be anything, right? And what I'm actually giving you today is corn-fed chicken instead of just the normal Tegels or Stiegels or whatever chicken is in the market. Because the chickens on the market, though they're a very good price, they're a good price because they're added hormones and they're all tenderized. So that's why it's always moist and watery and everything, right? So what we're going to have today, which is sitting here, already prepared for you, because the table's a little bit, I won't be able to bang out the chicken as well as I would like normally. So I'll just do a little bit of patchwork today. But when you use a corn-fed chicken, right, there's no hormones. There's no tenderizer. It's fed on corn. That's why the colour. But also the colours there has got a little bit of marigold powder in it. That actually keeps it all yellow. If they just fed them on corn, it would be all blotches. So you would never get that nice looking yellowy flavour. Yellow colour, sorry. So when you try it later, you'll see the difference between a normal chicken and that. Because I'm just going to put them in here, these ones which are already put down, because I just want to poach them very, very slowly. All right? When I've done this for you, I've done it, as you can see today, I haven't used any butter, and this is not like me, but it's very good for you. All right?
Dietitian approved.
Yes. So I'm just going to let them poach away. All right? I'll put it back on later. But what I've done is this, I've actually taken the skin off as well. Why do I poach them? Retain the moisture, give you a nice better taste at the end of the day. I do sometimes where I keep the skin on, then do it like this and fry them in the pan with some garlic and thyme at the very end. But then you should take the skin off afterwards, all right? Skin isn't like in anything, is like, it's a moistener, you know? It's like a salmon. When you cook salmon, you should cook the salmon the skin side down, because the fat between the skin and the meat is actually, it's marinating the salmon as it cooks. So you don't really need excess, say, fat with it. Really. I'm okay with that? Cool. We had a talk about salt the last time we did it. The thing is about these little birds or big chickens, right? Spatchcock is very good. It's a little baby chicken, or it's called a poussin or whatever, right? So what I'm going to do is just debone it for you and show with the bones how to make a quick stock, right? And because I never make any at home, any powders or that, I just use my own stuff, right? So I fill up the freezer. So my wife and family are very happy if I'm overseas. So I just go in between the leg and the breast, knock it back. Just take it along the bone. I mean, it does take time, okay? I'm a bit faster, right? But I think I've done one or two in my time, right? So skin off. Take the blade down by the bone. Just follow the bone down. I would take off the bone as well, but I want the bone for more flavor. Okay. And hopefully this pot will work. When you do make it, right, I mean, a lot of you might just use the normal chicken when you make it, right? So you'll get a lot more gravy from it at the time, right? And when you make it all at a big batch at one time, right? Because what I do is I put everything into ice cube containers. I know. Thai Union. Bit of Thai there for you. All right, where's my oil? Okay, brown oil. I'm going to make a bit of a bang in a minute here. Just a little bit of oil, because you want to get your... this looks better gas than this one, doesn't it? Cool. Leave my little gravy there for the time being. Hidden things underneath. I'm just going to put the vegetables in that separately. What you want with the vegetables is you want them to caramelize. Caramelize meaning that when they break down, the natural sugars come out. So that's where all the flavoring is. And the best ones is carrot, onion, and leek. Some celery if you want as well, no problem. And of course, I don't use tomato paste. I actually use, you see the seconds tomatoes? I always buy them and chop them up and put little bags in the freezer. So I use that instead of tomato paste. So. But tomato paste is fine. It's just a chef. All right. When you debone the leg, right, just follow the leg like that, right, with the knife. You can take the bones and do them in the oven if you want, right, when you're roasting at the same time. Just put them in separately, you know what I mean? Hello. So I just wanted to do this today a little bit different for you, just in case you never made it, so you get a chance. I love my garlic, yeah? So like there's good products in the market, right, which is like the bone roaster stuff, right? This is pure natural. The good stuff about this is, one, I'm the consultant for Asia and Middle East with it, right? So that's one good thing. Number two is there's no additives. There's no salt in it. It's a pure natural product. So it's very good just to add to your base for your stuff, right? Okay? I'm not trying to do the sales pitch, but it is a very good product to use, yeah?
Liquid stock by Bone Roasters. Can we hold it up for everyone?
Yeah. Bone roasters. Yeah. I actually just sold 6 20-foot containers to Emirates Airlines with it. So that's 170,000 litres they bought from me. So. You buy it in Brickworks, delis, yeah? Yeah. Don't be scared about cooking as long as you want until you get all that lovely, see the vegetables break down, right? This one doesn't want to go off. Okay. And when you make it this way, you just keep reducing it down. You don't need to add any thickener to it. You get a lot of nice flavour to it, yeah? All right. I'll just make a mess now. Chef way. Can I have my knife back? Did everybody like the sushi, by the way? Yeah? A bit different taste, right? Thank you. All right. So I just let that cook for an hour now, all right? An hour and it'll come down. Then you'll see the color will change to this after a while, all right? Okay. Then after I strain it after an hour because remember bones are very thin, all right? Beef bones you do like 24 hours you can do, right? It depends on the bones you're using. So with the chicken bones, because they're thin, you get as much flavor out of them in the first hour, then strain them and just let them reduce after that. Okay? Right, now we're going to go do salmon dish now, right? This is dishes like raw salmon, which is flavored with chives and red onion, served with avocado. It's got a little bit of sesame oil, mirin, and wasabi in there. Are you guys okay if I put a little bit of wasabi in the dressing? Just a little, very touch, right? Very little bit, very little. You'll never know you've had it, right?
Who's found the wasabi a little bit hotter than they did prior to surgery?
I accidentally put too much wasabi on their piece of sushi.
All right, my little salmon bones. One or two bones there still. All right.
Any sort of salmon, or you'd have to go specific salmon?
Well, any salmon can do, right? But when it's raw, I always like to go to the fishmonger and buy it, instead of the supermarket. Because, it's like, especially Thursdays, that's the good fish day. Tuesdays and Thursdays. I go to Churros a lot, right? So.
That was
Charos, yeah. Charos, sorry.
Charos seafood.
Yeah, it's my Scottish coming out there, right? All right. You see at the bottom, right, you got the fat, right? Just cut the fat off. That's good when you're cooking salmon, right? For if you're roasting it on the skin. But afterwards, always take it off, right? So I got take these little bones off at the way. So you dice it any way you want it, right? I can do a bigger one. You can do a small one. It's all up to you. All right. And I do like the down. Look at that fat. That's beautiful. It's good for you, all right?
What type of fat is it?
Omega 3.
And what do we need the omegas for? Brain function? Yep.
All right, so what we're going to do now, okay. We've got the salmon. So it's up to you what flavor you put in. You've got a recipe. The recipe I gave you works, okay? It does work, trust me. But then you can actually add to it, right? Some people might like to put a little bit lime juice in with this, just to make it last longer, if you're doing it in the fridge beforehand. I like it natural because if I'm going to buy it, I use it right away, right? So the next thing that goes with this is avocado. Where's my other half avocado?
We haven't tasted that avocado. We've got one of your not raw away. Honey avocado.
Okay. Could you ask Samuel not to do one? Two no avocado? Three? Right. What I said in the recipe is puree up or mash up, right? But this time I'll just do it a little bit different because you can play around. If you don't like it mashed up, you can cut it into little dice. So I'm going to cut this one in dice this time, okay?
What are some of the benefits of an avocado? Yep, substitute for butter. So it's essentially a fat. Okay, it's a good type of fat though. Okay, so we need a certain amount of fats in our diet, but preferably those good ones because they take the bad fats away where they're processed elsewhere in our body.
And everywhere you go in the world now is smashed avocado in every menu. That's one thing.
You can have it every day, definitely. So, a quarter of an avocado is probably okay. A whole avocado every day, it is still fat.
All right. There we go. I need my glasses on because I'm getting old. Can't see nothing. So, you meant to say, no, you're not old, please. So we're doing a little bit light soya, all right, for the dressing. Okay. I just need a little bit because everything's been done in there.
What does light refer to sometimes?
Salt reduced.
Not always.
No.
What might it also mean? Light in flavour, light in colour, light in texture. So it's diet means in terms of yogurt, so it's got an artificial sweetener. I don't know any particular brand that's a light yogurt. There'll be low fat, which means it's obviously lower in fat. D-light.
They're not great.
There's another brand of soy that is a true low salt. I can't think of the name.
Low salt yogurt.
Superb soy sauce. I can't think of the name.
Low salt. I've got it in my pantry. Low salt soy sauce. What's it called? Tamari.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tamari. I was getting there.
So, with the dressing, right, in the dressing there's a little bit of sesame oil, there's mirin and soy sauce with a little touch of wasabi. This is only a little drizzle go round. It just actually, because I don't use any salt in here whatsoever, so this is really...
Sorry, does everyone know what mirin is?
Mirin is a little Japanese friend. Very good for stir fries and everything like that, right? Mirin. You wouldn't smell it when you go up and down?
Like a vinegar. Rice wine vinegar.
Rice wine vinegar style. It's made from rice, you know, but it's very good.
Should we pass it around?
Yeah. If they can, I'll tell you what. You got a little bowl to put in. It's easy to let they can taste it a little bit. So, and of course, I put in my recipe fresh wasabi, but I saw the price of the fresh wasabi the other day. So let's go back to the tube, okay? I keep forgetting I'm not working in hotels now, right? And I didn't want to break the budget. I just did this function up in for 60 years of a meat company, 2.5 hours outside Brisbane, up past Toowoomba. So I ordered the fresh wasabi and it was like $500 a kilo, right? So I went down very well, didn't I? Right? Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. So this with the salmon, right? It's been mixed with shallots and it's been. I use red onion because I love the Spanish red onion. I love the acidity. You can use the little shallots. You can just use normal onion if you want, right? But watch the balance between the salmon, the chives, and the shallots. I'm a big onion fan, right? So if you're an onion fan, just add a bit more, it's like me. So this is the fresh salmon, just be able to be marinated together. Leave it for like 20 minutes to an hour, so it's marinated, right? So we'll just put it in a ring. You don't have to put it in a ring, you can just put it on a spoon on the table. And you can see how you're going to get it now in a minute. The avocado, I just chopped up. Okay. You can add a bit of lime juice to it. Of course, I did away with my chopping board, so. That came out very fast, didn't it, eh? Okay. I had to keep moving it because cross-contamination, so I couldn't do that for you. So. Right. So we'll put the avocado on top. Don't spill it though, Leslie. Didn't get that, did you? Right. Right. Now it says micro herbs, micro salads, right? You can get all these little micros in the supermarkets these days. Little packets of coriander leaves, whatever. What I actually do is I grow a lot of my own herbs anyway, right? So I use that, right? And I put down as a garnish pumpernickel crumbs just to give a different texture. So just cut this pumpernickel has got no preservative in it. You can get some with preservatives, but this pumpernickel has got no preservatives at all. Just cut it into cubes, then just put them in the oven when you switch the oven off at night time and leave them overnight, right? So you get nice little crumbs. Okay. So I have to put my glasses on now because I can't see the small anymore. So I'll take off the. Then we'll put a little bit of the herbs on top. I gave them my little tongs in there. A little bit pumpernickel. out of the way again. So I've used some chervil, I've used some coriander, I used some chives. You can do whatever you want. I gave him some little basil here. All right. Excuse me. Okay, we do a little bit of dressing.
Feel free to ask questions for Chef Leslie. If you've got any questions, fire away. He'll answer.
Yeah. I will try. Okay, that's that, all right? And you can even go a little bit further if you want to do it. It's not in the recipe. Make your own little cracker to finish it, right? So even if you're not going to get all that extra fat, and the little cracker in there is some of the salmon mixed with chives, coriander, then in a wonton wrapper tied up with chives and poached, not fried, just poached. So you get a little bit something different if you want to do it with your tartare of salmon with avocado and sesame oil wasabi dressing. Okay, so now you're going to get a little taste of that, but I couldn't make the crackers that small, so you don't get a cracker. Okay.
So one of the questions that I had was, can you do the same thing with tuna?
Raw tuna? Yeah, of course. That's the premium, you know what I mean? If you get toro, it's even better, right? So, no, raw tuna is good. If you want to gamble with fresh prawns, use it with fresh lime, but it must be fresh prawns, right? And then, like in Asia, we eat even the raw lobster as well, when it's still alive, you know, it's still good. But yeah, so like being the spontaneous I am, right? Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to do the vegetables first for the main course because they'll take a bit longer, okay? So, and this one doesn't like me at all, does it? No, good man, okay. All right, so I need to get the vegetables on the way because I need to cook, so. Who likes sweet potato? Okay. And who likes Brussels sprouts? I love you all.
Why would we use sweet potato against... Why would we choose sweet potato as opposed to a white potato?
Low GI.
Glycemic index value. Okay, low GI. So does anyone know what that means?
Good for you.
Takes longer to digest. Perfect. Yep. So it will be broken down into glucose over a longer period of time, keeping you fuller for longer.
I'm very much into herbs, right? Thyme and rosemary. So for this one, I love just putting in rosemary, right? It doesn't have to be chopped up like that, just raw. No, raw. Just sprigs of it, right? And when you do it in the bag, yeah, you can actually mix it together. So like, you know, the oil and the vegetables, give it a good shake so it's ready to roast then, right? And I love garlic and Maldon salt. It's the only salt I use. I never use iodized salt. This way you save making a mess and everything. You can use the bag for the Brussels sprouts next, right?
A bit more about the salt and why that's your preference.
Okay. Because Maldon salt is actually natural sea, right? Sea salt. Where iodized salt is all the purity has been taken out of it already and it's no much flavour. And actually you need less of this than you do of iodized, and plus it's a better flavour. No, you can use the pink. Just I've been using Maldon since I was a wee laddie. Probably been using it like for 44 years, huh? So in the Brussels sprout, put a little bit thyme. Right. It's a little bit. No, chefs, you know, we don't mix things, huh?
Leslie,
That's me.
over here, I think that, the question was, is there any difference with the Himalayan pink salt?
No. Even like, it's more natural, right? But because of like where I come from and everything, right? Now you forgot me the salt now. Have you seen that guy? It's from the Middle East. He's gone very viral across the whole of the Middle East, where he does his salt like this. So he's gone that popular. Now the Americans have just asked him to open 2 restaurants in America. So, as he's famous, you see him at Nasir. Look under Nasir, and you see him everywhere he goes. He's doing like that. So, sorry, superstitious. So that saves a lot of mess, doesn't it? Because I haven't got an oven, so I've got to be creative here.
So you would normally just pop them into an oven?
Yeah, just put it on a tray in the oven. So, but I've got to cook these. So now I'm going to put a little bit of water in this to speed this one up for me. Okay, Brussels sprouts. Okay. But normally I wouldn't do that anyway, right? When that's going to be going, right, I'm going to show you the stuffing for this, okay? All right, so give me 2 minutes, because I need this to cook a bit before we go in to make the salad for the next one, right?
So I guess one of the really important messages that we hope you take away from today is that Christmas doesn't have to be about overindulgence, but having a little bit of everything, enjoying it, eating it mindfully, and treasuring those moments that you're having with, you know, friends and family and the celebration rather than all of the focus being on food. Yeah.
Okay, let's proceed. So, I won't be able to bang this out today, right? So I'm just going to kind of slice it a little bit open, all right? So this is a corn-fed chicken, right? So you can see by the color, right? This is pure natural. No hormones, no tenderizer, just love, okay? Grow it outside. Yeah, my little thing. So, make the stuffing, show you. All right. I just got to keep an eye on it. If you smell burning, please tell me. Okay, when you've got the chicken, or the spatchcock, or that white things with a lot of water and tenderizer in it, right? Okay, you take the breast off, all right? Your breast is off. The bones has made your sauce if you want, right? And you mince the legs. Like the legs has got a lot of good flavor. So, if you didn't want to do that, you didn't have the time at home, buy the chicken breast, right? And buy the minced, and it's ready for you, right? In a lot of ways, okay? So, here's the minced leg. Now, I'm just filling up the rubbish bin here. So I've already done this already right? This is onion, right? Leek and corn. It's been sauteed off with some rosemary and thyme, but you can add sage if you want, or marjoram or anything like that, right? And you know, like the sage and onion stuff, it was always bread in that right dish, right? So I actually use quinoa. All right. The correct measurements is in there. It does work, trust me. Say that again?
Did you buy your quinoa from Aldi?
Yeah, remember I've got one here. Yeah, I buy it from Aldi. I do use a lot of quinoa and I think it's very good. I even put it in my bread when I make bread. I put it in the hamburgers as well. I do it in my meatballs. So the kids don't know, and I put cheese as well with it, right? So I need 1 egg mixed up. So that 1 egg, the egg is just to bind it, right? It holds it better together, yeah? And every time before I stuff it, I actually I cook a little bit off in a little non-stick pan just to see if I've got enough seasoning in that, right? Okay. Right, I have to move this because it's in the way. All right. It's going again, eh? It's coming down here. Hang on. Switch it off for a minute. If it will go off. This one doesn't want to go off, huh? Okay, here we go. We'll take the skin off. This part actually I take off as well, and I put it into the stuffing as well. All right, so normally I go down the center. Then I put it between Glad wrap, then bat it out, right? But if I do it here, I'm gonna have a little synapses. So I'm just gonna try and be a bit creative here. A little bit. So, got my tin foil. I'm a very organised young man, as you see. Tin foil. Just put a drizzle of oil, right? It just helps a little bit. So, I would be a lot more care if it was, I bat it out quite flat so I can turn in the ends, then roll it up. Then I roll it in Glad wrap first, so it's round, then into the tin foil. Now, if you have too much left, I actually make this into separate stuffing, which then you can make for a sandwich, all right? Or you can use it for like making little meatballs in it, right? You know. So in we go. The reason I lose the leg, because there's a lot more flavour in here. You just using the breast is not as good. Huh? Yeah, the thigh. Sorry, thigh for the mince in it, right? Yeah, and yeah. So that's that done, right? Quite easy, right? Well, I made it look easy. Right? 1 minute. Okay. All right, that's that done. Okay. So I'm just going to clean up a bit, and we'll go to the salad. Yeah. Because you know, like people used to have in days gone by, they have a sorbet before the main course, right? I believe in I love using little salads. It's still the same. You got citrus. And this one is made with baby spinach leaves, roasted beetroot, orange, and macadamia nut. Okay? So we're going to make that in 5 minutes. Who likes beetroot? Good. Who likes it in the burger, though? No. Okay. Aussie way. All right. So, we can do this beetroot any way you want to cut it. So I'll just do be a bit smart ass and do a different shape today, right? For you, right? All right. You can cut it any way you want to do it, right? Any way you want to do it, right?
Would you use canned beetroot?
You can if you want. But, because a bit more salt and all that in there, so. So I'll just do a little shape different today. So this is with baby spinach, right? A little baby spinach leaves. You can use little rocket leaves if you want. I just like spinach. A little bit of flavour. And we've got orange. Segments I've already done, but I'll just show you. If those who can't be bothered doing segments, I'll show you a quick way of doing it without segments, yeah?
Not as good either. No.
That really big dark green, I think silver meat, spinach, rocket.
Yep.
So, you know, like when you do segments, have you done segments before? Like that, right? It's really annoying, isn't it, right? So if you just go down the sides, cut out the center, then you can just cut it that way, you know. That's much easier for you, okay? Right, so that's that. And of course, macadamia nuts. You can chop them up if you want. I leave them whole because I like to get a good crunch. I don't like when people make them all those small. So the dressing, right? What we use is a little bit orange juice. You know when you squeeze the juices out, right?
Yeah.
Olive oil.
Like kind of said, a bit like a salmon,
Are you moving again?
but it's also high.
Right. I use a lot of apple vinegar. You know, it's very good for you. It's great in dressing. Touch of honey. Honey mummy. Of course, a little bit of salt and pepper. A little bit. Yeah.
What about the apple cider vinegar?
Sorry?
What about the apple cider vinegar?
Okay. I knew you were going to get me there. It's good for the body. It's good for the cleansing of the body. It's good if you take it like a teaspoon in the morning or nighttime, just as a good, like lemon juice, you know, like if you lemon juice and water. Apple vinegar is just the same like that, right? And I use it a lot I take it occasionally, you know, like, not all the time. But it's good. It makes a little touch of honey, then it's okay. So that's the dressing: apple vinegar, orange juice, olive oil, and a touch of honey. And I make a mess of the plate. You can bring the salad out now. You can make as much salad as you want. You'll see in the recipe there's a lot more than I'm putting on the plate anyway just now, yeah. Even though you've got all these different dishes, you don't have to eat them all, you know, for lunchtime, right? So there we go. We got a little bit of orange salad with beetroot, and you can cut it any shape you want to, yeah? You can cut it in triangles or whatever you want, yeah?
Beautiful. Can I show?
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui. Merci. While people are still enjoying all the food, before we move on to the next recipe, I would love to hear, or I'd love you to share, a couple of your most interesting experiences from your many years of travel. So, first question, most unusual request that you've had as a chef anywhere in the world?
The most weirdest thing was working in Dubai. Sheikh Mohammed decided he wanted to do Cirque du Soleil out in the desert. So in 4 months, he got 6,000 Indians to design a whole amphitheater, stadium, for sit down for 7,500. So that was done. That was Cirque du Soleil. And the day we used to have to set up the food the night before in 40-foot containers. And the first year when we did it, as they were finishing working on things, we were setting up the buffets and everything. The second year, I thought it was very organized. I had all the containers out with the pastry at the back, main course, and this cold stuff, right? So we go out there, and there's one of these freak storms. They moved the 40-foot containers, like 20 feet in there. The Cirque du Soleil stage, gone. So I had to then phone up my general manager, who then called the CEO, which is Jared Lawless, who then called Sheikh Mohammed, and Sheikh Mohammed says, okay, move it into the city. So I had 12 hours to move all that food and all the staff, set up a buffet in there for 7,500, 12 hours. So I had probably about 20 espressos, 20 cigarettes, that's when I smoked. Stress. And like you were not allowed to take cranes down the Sheikh Zayed Road, but we had police escorts Sheikh Zayed Road, and with the 40-foot containers going like that. And I've even got a video where you can see all the chefs. We've got them on a convoy. We're just moving the food back and forth like that. Then that was good. We finished that by 12. But then we had to go back to a hotel and fill up all the trucks and everything to take them back for the big racing carnival they have there. Because we have to be in there before 5 in the morning, because if not, the horses see the dents on the grass, right? So it must be smooth. FYI. Never knew that. So we had to fit up go back there, fit out for 20,000 and take that out to the thing. So we had 4 hours sleep for 3 days we had. Here's the roulade. All right, so we're going to take it out of here. So this is with the corn-fed chicken. It doesn't look like that when it's cooked, but
So you cook it with the plastic on it?
yeah, keep poaching it. So it's to give it a good shape. You know, you do it really tight. You know, so it does no harm. When we do steaks and banquet, we wrap it in plastic, then seal the steak, and it just falls off anyway. So that's why we can keep the steak round. Right. So this is your main course coming up, right? So it's sweet potato with the Brussels sprout, which doing it on the top was a little bit more different. You can do the sweet potato like this if you want. You can cut it any way you want. You can cut it big chunky if you want. It's just I would made it small today because I know I'm cooking on top of the stove. And so you can see inside, right? It's got the nicely rolled and it's got the nice filling inside, right? So I will cut this all up now and go in the kitchen and do it up for you. And you can taste the gravy afterwards. Okay? Make a right mess. So that's your quinoa, leek, and corn stuffed corn-fed chicken. Okay? Now I'm going to cut this up now, and we'll go from there.
And you know, with your leftover stuffing,
Yeah.
how you roll up that, could you do the same with the stuffing? Roll it up in the glad wrap and poach it as well?
Yeah.
If you have a little bit left over?
Yeah, I do that for myself at home and that as well. That's why I say, like, doing it like that, I make it into sandwiches.
Yeah.
So as you saw that today, there was an ounce of butter in whatsoever, right? And you'll try the gravy, and this is just natural reduction from that stock, okay? She's not watching.
So our protein, our carb and our veg. Okay, so having all of those components in our meal, and then it's up to you to decide how much you're going to have. So if you think about other things that you might be preparing this Christmas, how could you get that same meal composition? Who has cold Christmases? Yep. So what would your protein be with a cold Christmas?
Turkey, prawn,
Turkey, prawns, ham, chicken. Yep. Where would your veg come into it?
salad.
Salads. Yep. And how could you incorporate your carb? Salads as well. What was that? Potato salad. Yep.
Eggs, deviled eggs.
Eggs are protein.
As well.
Yeah. Yep.
What about alcohol at Christmas time? Because I think I know I actually did not answer as I should have a question last night. Someone on the forum talking about going to a Christmas function only 4 weeks post-op. Could she have a glass of wine? And as we all should know, excuse my ignorance, that you should not have any alcohol for the first 12 weeks.
12 weeks.
Yeah. So how are people thinking about, Christmas, it's a time to have a nice cocktail, a glass of champagne or whatever your favourite drink is. What are your recommendations, Brianna?
So I guess there's a couple of things that we do need to be mindful of. My first rule is no bubbles. Okay. So what kind of alcohol can you drink that doesn't involve bubbles? White wine, red wine, spirits of juice, spirits of milk, like your Baileys of milk type of thing, or your clearer spirits and juice, or otherwise your darker spirits on the rocks is what I tend to recommend. So once you've got the right type, we then want to look at, well, what time can I have this? Depending on whereabouts in your journey are, it will also depend on your ability to eat and drink at the same time. So often the choice can be eating or drinking, and obviously we don't want to dispose too much food out of the diet that day. So it comes down to the timing when you're drinking. The next thing we need to look at is how much. So when your stomach before surgery had the capacity to stretch to 2 to 3 litres, you know, the food and the alcohol used to bounce around and it would take a while to hit the lining of your stomach and be absorbed into your bloodstream. When your stomach's this big, like it literally has a diameter roughly the size of your finger, it's got nowhere to go. So the alcohol's just going to go straight into the lining of your stomach, into your bloodstream. So you're going to feel the effects of alcohol much, much quicker. much quicker. And unfortunately we have had a patient who thought she was okay after a glass because she used to drink way much more and she stood up and fell over and broke her ankle. So you do, for the first time, drink at home in a safe environment and work out your tolerance first.
My son and I did a test. I put exactly the same amount of scotch in a glass, same amount of Coke in a glass. Both drank them over 30 minutes. And half an hour later I did the alcohol meter reading test. I came back at 0.061.
Yep.
He came back at 0.019.
Yeah.
So that's how
Yeah,
it goes in your
definitely.
system, and that's something that we've all got to be careful of.
100%, and obviously driving following alcohol after
Yeah.
a sleep surgery as well.
Brianna, the other thing that came up on the page last night was that someone mentioned dumping syndrome after drinking, but that's not a symptom of sleep patients, typically.
Typically, you can get dumping in a sleep, but typically we don't see it very often. It's more so in a bypass patient, and that's because of the change in anatomy. So in a bypass patient, their stomach's literally the size of a walnut. Sleep patients is more like a ladyfinger banana. While we're all eating here. So dumping refers to how quickly food goes through the GI tract. So when it's going through too fast, and it's normally triggered by foods that are really high in sugar or high in fat. So I did have a patient one day tell me if she wants to dump, she just goes and licks the icing off a cake. So those really high pure sugar foods will cause a lot of dumping. And you'll know about it pretty quickly. So it's normally within that 20-minute mark after eating is what we call that early onset dumping, but it can also happen to 2 to 3 hours, and that's your later onset dumping.
Find it under bed with cream. Anything that's got cream in it.
Cream?
Will go straight through.
Yep, so the really high fat ones will cause a lot of the loose, fatty, floaty stools. Whereas some of the other traditional symptoms of dumping would be the fast heart rate, the sweating, and obviously the gastrointestinal upset either end. So in our little goodie bags, one of our things that we've prepared is a cookbook. So all of Leslie's recipes are in the front. I've got a heap of recipes in the back there as well. And one of the other aspects of it that I've included is food as gifts. So often our patients tell us that they become quite obsessed with food and they watch a lot of food shows and they talk about food and they read about food and everything's all about food. Welcome to a dietitian's life. So I thought it would be nice to include a couple of recipes because people get quite into cooking. What kind of food-based gifts can you give to friends and family as gifts?
So the last, but not the least, we have a little festive panna cotta, okay? Now this panna cotta is made with xylitol. You know what xylitol is? It's the sugar alternative, all right? Artificial sweetener, right? You have all eat sugar-free chewing gum? Well, it's made with this, right? And as it says, right, don't have too much because, yeah, it's good laxative. Pardon?
Where do you normally purchase it?
I buy that from the health shops.
Flannery's?
Yeah, Flannery's, yeah. You can get this. What I like about these, right? You buy like this, right? And it said, refill me. So it's quite good because you get in packs as well. You don't want the packs, right? But these ones were quite good. I saw this and said, okay, buy another pack, refill your jar. So you save in the second time around, right?
And if you can't find it, you can substitute other artificial sweeteners in the recipe, like a stevia.
Yeah. I mean, it's got, it doesn't spike, this doesn't spike your sugar levels, you know? And it's only got like 2% against the sugar over there, right? So it is a very good product. I've been playing around with it a lot lately. So it's very easy, all right? Of course, I can't make it and let you taste it, this one, because I need to wait for over a day. But it's, you've got cream, all right? And And you've got Greek yogurt.
Equal quantities?
It's 1 cup of cream to 1.5 cups of yogurt, if I can remember correctly. Without me going looking at my recipe. The thing about pastry, you have to be exact, right? So, in my recipe, I've got orange peel or orange zest, right? But orange peel's got a lot of sugar anyway, right? So I did I just put in extra orange zest. You put in any flavor you want, right? You can use the vanilla. You get the vanilla extract now, right? But I love using the vanilla pods because after I've taken the seeds out of the vanilla pods, I put the pod into my caster sugar, so it just gives flavor all year round. Okay. Even if you've used it, the whole thing, just dry it and put it in with your sugar. So when you take out the seeds, right, from here, when you've taken the seeds out of this, right, just put this into your caster sugar now. Don't throw it away, okay? All right, and give you a nice flavor. So I've got in the orange. I won't put the gelatin in, but you mix this well together first, yeah? All right. Now, because it's Christmas time, you need brandy, okay? It's up to you how much you put in, okay?
I just talked about alcohol, Leslie.
A little bit. I say this is the only treat. They've not had any butter from me the whole day, right? So,
Alcohol cooks all.
yeah, I did a little bit in there, right? And cinnamon, it's up to you, right? When you taste this one today, right, it's a subtle, right? But you can add as much allspice or cinnamon that suits your... actually, it comes out nicely, right? I love my cinnamon, right? I love cinnamon, so I always add a lot more cinnamon than anything else, right? So all you got to do now is you just bring this up slowly, right? You don't want it to boil it. You just bring it up nice and warm. Then you just leave it for 25 minutes. Okay? Then you put in the gelatin. I always use leaf gelatin. I think I control it better. So for that one mix is like 5 grams, you know what I mean? So if you, like me, you can actually cut back if you really want to gamble. I gamble a lot with my gelatin because I don't like it. I don't like when I go to a restaurant and you go like that for a mousse and it's like so jelly, right? So I like it really wobbly. So you just make this warm, leave it for 25 minutes so it's infusing from all the spices. And if you think you need a little bit more of liquid nectar, you can add a little bit more. And you strain it, then you set it, all right? So this is my little one. From that recipe, you'll get about 6 this size portion, okay? So what I've done is with a little fruit salsa on top. I gave you a recipe, I think it's strawberry, kiwi fruit, and something else. But it's Christmas time, right? So what's in Christmas in Australia is like mangoes, you got peaches, you got cherries. So you do whatever you want, right? And I added a little touch of lime juice and some mint leaf in here, right? So just do a little bit on top. All right. And you garnish with a little bit of mint if you want to be creative. And there's the end of your meal. A little bit of festive treat. And 1, 2, 3. They're coming. All right. So that's it for your cooking class today. All right. With a recipe, all right, you can add or take things out. It's up to you. I give you a little basic to go with, right? With hot food, it's a lot easier to change than it is with pastry items. So please go ahead. Enjoy your little festive treat.
How long do they need to sit?
Well, when I make mine normally at home, it's 24 hours because I cut right back gelatin. But these ones took about 4.5 hours they did. Yeah. I had to make it set a little bit more because I was scared of these little cups spilling over on the way down the M1 when there's such a bedlam this morning getting down there. So.
And so I think you were talking about the sushi recipe that you made earlier on.
Yeah.
There was one change that you've made compared to the cookbook recipe.
Yeah, that's instead of putting I crush the avocado with the quinoa because when you roll it out you'll find it stays a bit more. If you just put the quinoa in by itself it can go everywhere, right? Because some people will be scared to take it. How far do I take it to be gluggy? You know, when the water is evaporated and you've left it to sit. So when I played around with the first time, then I thought the second time I'll play with avocado. So that's what I've done. But at home as well, it's like if you like wasabi, I mix my wasabi with my avocado, then mix it in with the quinoa. But my palate is very spicy, so okay. But have you any questions? Any more?
I've got a question about Thai food.
Uh huh.
I like to cook it at home, but a lot of the recipes ask for palm sugar.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can use?
That is a good question. Palm sugar is unique, right? I've never tried to do it with xylitol, but you could try it with xylitol just to see what it comes out with. But the yeah, 1 for 1. I mean, palm sugar is just that unique, you know, from the palm. Or try coconut sugar. It's even try coconut sugar. Yeah. I mean, a lot more things than now. I've been playing around with the coconut flour and the coconut sugar and all that, right? Just to see the difference, right? I do a banana cake recipe with banana sugar and that in it, so it's a little bit different, yeah. But try the banana sugar or try the xylitol. But yet again, I will always say devil's advocate. I am. All good things are good in small amounts. So if it says to do 10 grams, maybe try 2 grams of it.
Leslie, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We love having you here. I think it's a lot of fun. I hope you all enjoyed Leslie's presentation and delicious recipes, and I seriously hope that you're all going to go and replicate them, practice them and refine them to your liking. That's what they're there for.